Okay, I think I can go. Actually, it's our fifth presentation, and thank you everyone who come. We decided to start this presentation from some newsletter, and now you can see updated. The map. You can see updated map. Where is Russian forces now? In the bottom, like Alexandra, could you see where is like Mariupol now? Yeah, here is Mariupol. Is like one of the hottest point. Also, you can see that there is like some air raids attack in Kharkiv, in Izium, and actually you can show it. About updated information. Next slide, please, Alexa. Yeah, we tried to show you like the main news which happened during this week. For me it was hard to decide what is the main, what is the less main, but I guess most of you know about or at least hear about this. Russia infected Точку. It's like kind of weapon, and it was like just dropped down in Kramatorsk railway station in April 18, and the thing is that there were like about 4,000 people in this railway station. They all was like waiting for their trains to like escape from Kramatorsk. Unfortunately, 57 people were killed and 109 wounded. And you can see, Alexa, maybe you could show this like за детей. It's like there is like real napis on the
signature
sign. Yeah, it's like a real sign in this like weapon. It means like for children. And why Russia just drop it down for children? Another thing, it was shared by Ben, if I'm not mistaken, that Russia actually started use poison. Azov, it's like our army in Mariupol, who they on in the April 11 they announced that Russia occupation forces used a poison substance and without unknown origin. And maybe you hear about this that this poisoned, like this like poison what firstly used in the first World War, and now it's when I hear this news I compare this like Hitler and this kind like Putin. But thankfully only 3 people suffered, but they are alive. Another thing is you can see this photo, Alexandra, in this Mariupol, this corridor or something like that. It's like photo from Mariupol City Council. And in this corridor, you could I don't think that you could recognize, but actually there is like dying bodies, and Russia disguises his body and use mobile crematoriums in order to like just hide everything that they do. And there is like information from main intelligence from Ministry of Defense that actually they have 13, not 13, yeah, 13 mobile crematoriums. Yeah. And now Oksana will tell more about other news.
Hello, everyone. Thank you very much for coming. As you remember, those who were here last week, last time we talked about the crimes committed in Bucha, and now we have some new facts of these horrific crimes committed by Russian occupiers in the suburbs of Kyiv. For now, it is estimated that more than 400 civilians were killed only in Bucha. According to Lyudmila Denisova, Ukraine's ombudsman for human rights, about 25 girls and women aged 14-24 were systematically raped during the occupation in the basement of only one house in Bucha. 9 of them are pregnant now. Russian soldiers told them they would rape them to the point where they wouldn't want sexual contact with any men, to prevent them from having Ukrainian children. Further, a couple of days ago, Ukrainian intelligence published the intercepted phone conversation between one of the Russian soldiers and his wife, where she approves raping Ukrainian women in case her husband uses protection. I have no words to comment this. I can only repeat again what has been said many times here, that this war is not against our government or the West or NATO. This is the war against Ukrainian nation. And we're guilty basically because we exist and because Russians have decided that their mission is to wipe us out of existence. And this is genocide. On 11th of April in Tallinn, here you can see the picture, women protested against mass rape of Ukrainian women by Russian soldiers near the Russian embassy. Such protests will most probably never reach Russian diplomats, but they are necessary to call for action, to force the world to stop watching this like it is a horror movie that you can turn off once you are bored. This is the reality of Ukrainians, for our women, our children, and the world has to stop it. And here in the left, you can see Viktor Medvedchuk, a key Kremlin ally in Ukraine and personal friend of Putin. He was captured by Ukrainian special forces after fleeing home arrest when Russia invaded. Russia immediately reacted on this situation and claimed that this is a persecution of the leader of the opposition in Ukraine. However, in reality, before the Russian invasion, he was detained for high treason and escaped from home arrest. Now he will be judged according to Ukrainian law, and later our president considered to exchange him as a valuable figure for Putin to captured Ukrainian. Thank you, and I will give the floor to my colleague.
Yeah, and now more like news like that is more international. I guess many of you hear that in 11th of April, Boris Johnson, the Prime Minister of the United Kingdom, visit Kyiv. And why we mentioned this, because it was like an announcement visit. Like Ukrainians couldn't predict that he visit Kyiv. And the thing is, why this meeting is so important, because after this meeting, Boris Johnson said that he gave that the Great Britain gave Ukraine some military assistance, and now you could see in this in this like media, work media, and this like how Boris Johnson, maybe you see this video. If you do not see, like just Google it, Boris Johnson in Kyiv, how they are working with Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky. For me, it's like they are really good friends, just like walking around the streets. And why in Kyiv? Because I will remind that actually Russian troops leaves Kyiv, all Kyiv region, maybe Олександра or Оксана. Як сказати визволення? I don't know how. Sorry, my Ukrainian colleagues. Yeah, sorry. It's really hard word, but we will translate. It's so important. Yeah, and then I move. And after this reason, another presidents of
liberation.
Yeah. Yeah. Now you all remind it because on the beginning of April, if I'm not mistaken, it was at the 1st of April, all Kyiv region was liberated by Ukrainians, and that's why for us it's so important. And we hope Russian troops wouldn't come to Kyiv again. And the thing is that after Boris Johnson visit, another president of Lithuania, Latvia, Estonia, and Poland arrived in Kyiv. So now you can see how world leaders go to us. And another, it seems for me important, so I put it. There was two news. Finnish Prime Minister said that they possibly want to join NATO, and possibly they will made their application. And also she mentioned that it's because of war in Ukraine, because of Russia invasion. And the same thing we can see in Sweden. Sweden Prime Minister also going to apply to join the NATO. And personally for me, it seems that some European countries want to be more stronger in order to prevent such things which are going on now in Ukraine. And also we wanted to remind you about Bucha genocide because in April 13, some of world leaders just mentioned in their speech that these things which happened in Bucha, in Kyiv region, for them it's is real genocide of Ukrainians. It was said by Canadian Prime Minister Justin Trudeau, and also with the president of Colombia. Yeah. Cool. And next slide. You also saw this slide, I guess, earlier. We shared it. We mentioned it because here is the resources where you could check information in English language, but it's from Ukrainian media. They do it really quickly, and also you could read here short news or long reads.
Thank you, Danka. And I will move on to the next slide. every time we give these numbers for you to realize the scale of Russian terrorism. And you see these numbers are lives, Ukrainian lives. So since February 24th, 197 children were killed, and at least 341 children were wounded. And I would like to emphasize that this is only official numbers, and we believe that real numbers, they are much higher, because there are many occupied territories, and we don't have information from that cities, from that towns and villages. So these are only official numbers. And next numbers shows that there are over 4 million refugees. So in the whole world, today's wave of migration is the largest since World War II. And concerning internally displaced people, approximate numbers are from 3.5 to 7 million people that are internally displaced. 7 million, it's numbers that gives UN, and 3.5 million, these numbers, approximate numbers, that gives Ukrainian scientists. So we don't know the exact number. It's and it's obvious. It has obvious reasons, because we don't have official procedure for everyone to be officially registered as IDP, and we move to the next slide. Danka.
And we also wanted to say, to show you how what support support us. And here in the next slide, I guess many of you also saw it. You can see some protest in countries abroad. For example, here is like protest in Poland near the Russian embassy. And you see like this kind of items children chose, like this TV or something like that. It's like symbol of those who died because of Russia, children especially. And also it tells that like Russia, Russia's troop, before they leave Ukraine, they took something. It was a kind of looting, and in some media you can even see this video where Russian doing this looting. Next slide, Alexa. Another one, it's in Vienna. There is like 1,000 candles, and these candles, like this is a memory of Ukrainians who died during the war. Next slide. This one, I could first your reaction, maybe what is it? This is artificial blood, and it was in the Czech Republic, where activists come to Russian embassy and just dope this artificial blood, saying that it's really bad, like killing Ukrainians. Another one. And this is, I think most of you saw it, because it was in the cover of Times on the March 28th. The thing is that street artist, if I not JRs, if I spell it correctly, he made this like installation with photo. This installation is the photo of 5 years old girl, Valeria, and unfortunately she was forced to leave Ukraine. And thing is that firstly this installation was presented in Lviv in Ukraine, but then now it's presenting in different European countries, in Vienna, if I'm not, in Venice, if I'm not mistaken, and also in Paris, and I think now in other countries. Yeah, I think it's all from me. Yeah.
Okay, thank you, Danka. And if you were present on our first meeting, you remember this some kind of map. And on the first meeting, we asked you to realize the scale of Ukrainian heroism. As you see there, this is Ukraine, and this is Russia. And now I will show you again this map that was on the first slide. You see the Ukraine, sorry. And now I want you to realize the scale of Mariupol's defenders' heroism. As you see, Mariupol is here, and on this part of slide, I'll try to show it a little bit closer. And the city, the most part of the city, is not occupied.
I guess she's frozen.
Oh, I guess yes.
If I'm wrong. No humanitarian support. There is no water, no electricity. And if you remember stories of our friends from Mariupol who told us their stories last time, you remember that there is no resources to survive. And this red zone, these are places where Russia, these territories are occupied with Russian armies, and here is Russia. So they have no place to live, and we have no way to help them, because on these territories there is no forest. So this territory is strategically inconvenient, because no one can move there without being detected. And I have a personal story. Russian boats, they work. And a few days ago, I received a letter on my private email from so-called Vladimir Azov. As you remember, Danka said that Azov is one of our
defenders. Maybe army that defend Mariupol.
Yeah. And in the letter they wrote, they called me with my name and my father's name, which is private information, and told me that don't believe that Ukrainian authorities try to help us, because they do nothing. They left us, they forget about us, and you should know that Russians, they are not good, but better people than Ukrainian authorities. After I read this letter, first thing I made, it was I asked my husband, please tell me if I didn't that I didn't damage my laptop with this email, because I understood that this was a spam. And interesting thing that when Russians try to do, they try to make us fight with each other because they are interested in it, because it would be easier for them to fight with us when we are fighting with each other. And I realized that this was the kind of instrument to do this. And I told all my friends about this letter, and I told them, please don't believe it and don't do nothing. So when Russians write these letters, they don't call to action. But if you don't know Ukrainians, I will tell you that we are very active people. And if we share the information, we always ask for action. You heard about Maidan, about Revolution of Dignity, about Orange Revolution. We always act. We are fighters, and we know what is democracy. And I want to. So at the beginning of this meeting, Yemi said that about importance of our voices. So this is the way how civil society works. You use the power of your voice. Even now, these days in Ukraine, well, all Ukrainians are forbidden it, and we realize why, to criticize our authorities, and we don't do that. But we know why we do this. Even now, when some депутати, дівчат, як буде?
Politicians.
Some
Deputies,
politicians decided to change the words of our anthem, we started to say, how dare you? So the whole world know the exact words of our anthem. This is a symbol of Ukrainians. The whole world, every people in the world know this. And you want to change the words, and everybody started to react. And this is how civil society works. After they saw our reaction, they forgot about this idea. And that is why I tell you, if you have the most powerful tool in your life, it's your voice. Use the power of your voice. And with your permission, I will continue the presentation. Every time, maybe last time was the only exception, I'll try to share one joke that is appeared in our society since this invasion started. So the Pope doesn't believe in God as much as we believe in armed forces of Ukraine. So if you trust in God, please forgive us. But this this is our life is. Okay, my emotions don't let me to speak, but I guess you realize what we mean. And this is a picture from official pages in social media from our armed forces of Ukraine, and it says that Ukraine is holding on our shoulders, and we really believe in our army. And our soldiers are not the one who fights in this war. Here you see my friend. Well, actually, my husband is a godfather of his son, and he and his girlfriend, they feed pets in Bucha. You heard about Bucha, and we told you about it last time. So there's no people there right now, and they, since the girlfriend of this of my friend, she is from Bucha, and the house of her parents was destroyed, totally destroyed. So there's no way to reconstruct it. You have to build a new one. Luckily, she managed to took her parents abroad, so they are safe, and but the house is destroyed, and they came back to Bucha and tried to feed as many pets as they could find, and there were really huge dogs, and usually people afraid to come to them, but I saw video. These dogs were they wanted, you know, to hug, to come closer. They really damaged. I don't know how to the exact word, but I guess you understand. And next time, I believe we will try to tell more information about different fronts of fighting, how Ukraine society fights, and that everybody, journalists, artists, they are fighting. They are keeping our army. We're strong because we are together. Danka, please.
And you also saw this slide. Actually, there is a different way how you can support Ukraine, like sign petition, join rallies, or organize your protest near Russia embassy in your country. Also, in the donation, you can see the first and the second. It's like specific donation for Ukrainian army. Like the first one is all Ukrainian NGO, and another one is National Bank of Ukraine. Yeah. Next one.
Oksana, please.
I think it's you, Alexandra.
It's me. Yes. Okay. Okay.
It's a big responsibility, Alexandra, to tell about this.
Okay. So we've been thinking how we can help more, because as we as people who are present here, we all are leaders, and some of us are already has certificate that they are sustainability leaders, and some of us only during this preparation process, in the middle of preparation process, and we decided that, you know, a little thing that you can do to help us to spread the information, to show your support, it's to record a short video, and we will collect these small parts, and we'll make 1 or 2 minute video, and we'll share it to support Ukraine, as many artists do today for Ukraine. So here are the details. It had to be 10 or 15 seconds video, vertical format, and this is words that you may say. So for example, this is Alexandra from Ukraine. I stand with Ukraine. I call the world to spread the true information, or I call the world to use your voice for your politician to act, so something like that, and then to download it. Yeah. So all the details, and the deadline is April 18, and I believe that we can postpone the deadline if it's needed, and we will share this information on a forum, of course, for everybody who think that who want to act will act. it will have this ability to act.
Alexandra,
And
could I add details?
yes.
Yeah, so I just wanted, why we put the deadline, I just reminded Yemi, it would be so cool because I know that in April 20, we have like a next meeting about Ukraine. I think it would be cool if in the beginning we show this video, like for all, that's why we put this detail, yeah.
And we will share this presentation, so all information will be available. And we ask for your ideas. Please help us with your ideas, because we want to be useful in our community for these meetings. If you have ideas, what the information we can share with you, or if you have ideas about some projects we could start to help Ukraine, as we know that many of sustainability leaders, they unfortunately they have this terrible I forgot the word, dosved. Experience, and maybe this experience will let us some way, will help us to find some ways to how to say it, okay, for us to be useful for our community and for the world. So if you have any ideas, please, we will be so happy to hear as you leaders, and I believe you have ideas. Please, you can tell it right now, or you can write it on forum, or find us on forum, or in some Instagram, Facebook. We are everywhere. Please share these ideas with us, as we want. We are really interested to enforce the peace. We are those who are really interested, as we want to go home and to be to have this peace, and not to have war in front of our doors. Thank you.